Shalom and greetings from Jerusalem, Jane. It's been a while since you heard from me, and since today is a very special day, I decided to make this video update. If you look behind me, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, well, that certainly doesn't look like Jerusalem. You are absolutely right. One of the things about being in the center of God's will for your life is to be able to say whatever you want. Whatever you have for me, Lord, your will be done. I want to be able to adjust and to follow if you take me right or if you take me left. And God took me right, and he took me out of Jerusalem. And if you look behind me, it is the beautiful Sea of Galilee. So I'm standing outside, so there will be dogs barking and there will be cars pulling by, but I hope you can hear what I'm saying. Today is Memorial Day here in Israel. For the next 24 hours, these 48 hours are the days that are very, very difficult to describe. It's very, very emotional. It's very, very painful. And normally I would have been in Jerusalem. I would have been at the cemeteries, which is right now completely packed throughout the whole country. A 2-minute siren just rang out here in all of Israel, and I was standing here on my balcony just filming when the siren was sounding here in the Galilee, and all of Israel came to a standstill. It all started last night when there was the official ceremony at the Western Wall. This is the day where Israel remember and honor all the soldiers who has died in battle defending Israel. Soldiers, police officers, border police officers, anybody in uniform who has died in service in wars defending the Jewish homeland. It's also the day where we honor and remember all the precious souls who has been brutally murdered in terror attacks, murdered for no other reason than being Jewish. So I don't have to explain to you how difficult and how emotional and how painful this day is. And yes, I can hear traffic behind me, but I still hope you can hear what I'm saying. You can see we have a roundabout here, so there are traffic going in and out. Thousands and thousands of soldiers has been killed defending the Jewish homeland over the years. That list grew naturally with the last bit of war that we are currently in. War against the evil regime in Iran, war against Hezbollah, and war against Hamas still inside the Gaza Strip. Right now we are in a ceasefire with Hezbollah and with the regime in Iran, but the ceasefire with Iran is ending within the next 24 hours, and then we will see what happened. Over the years, when people have asked me, Jane, what are you doing in Israel? Why did God send you here? What have you been doing? Well, those of you who follow me for many, many years, you know exactly what I have been doing. And the day that we are commemorating right now says it all. When I came here, I didn't know exactly what it was the Lord wanted me to do. But pretty quickly, I started experience for myself living in Israel the amount of terrorist attack that came against the Jewish people. Esther Hagen, Oi Anspager, Eifold, Daphne Meyer, the list goes on and on and on and on about the precious people who have been brutally murdered here in Israel, murdered for no other reason than being Jewish. And I knew that the Lord sent me here to comfort my people and to share with all of you around the world the horrific attack that is coming against the Jewish people that you don't hear in mainstream media. I have faithfully and to the best of my ability reported about all of these horrific terrorist attacks, about the Jewish children who were brutally rammed, crushed to death, while they were waiting at a bus stop in Jerusalem on Shabbat with their fathers. Of the 7 precious people who was outside a synagogue, around the synagogue in Jerusalem on a Friday, and they were brutally executed by an Arab terrorist. Over and over and over and again, I have reported about horrific terror attacks. And every time my heart has broken into a million pieces, never becoming whole until I had to report about another horrific terror attack. On top of that, I have been here now for more than 10 years with numerous rounds of battle with Hamas in Gaza, who has been firing so many rockets into Israel. We have been attacked and in war with Hezbollah, and also latest with Iran. And let's not forget the vile Houthis in Yemen, who has also fired missile at us. And like I said, right now we are just, the only reason why it's quiet here is because we are in a current ceasefire. One of them is ending within the next 24 hours. So like I said, a 2-minute siren was just blaring throughout all of Israel, also here in the Galilee. And right now, the cemeteries are completely packed by families, bereaved families, who are sitting at the graveside of their beloved, who was either murdered in a horrific terror attack or murdered, killed, defending the Jewish homeland. Naturally, all of this became much, much worse after the October 7 onslaught, Hamas massacre, where nearly 1,300 people were brutally murdered, mutilated, tortured, when Hamas attacked on that Black Saturday. Hezbollah joined and sent in all of the missiles and the rockets, and then came Iran, and then came the Houthis. So today is a very, very painful day. It's that day where the grief and the heartache and the trauma that we carry and that we are trying to process and cope with explode into a million pieces. So many broken hearts, so many shattered families here in Israel. You literally cannot go into the house of one family or an apartment here in Israel without they have lost someone, or they know someone that they have lost. It is just absolutely devastating. On top of that, unfortunately, we have seen suicides from victims who survived the Nova Music Festival, the terror onslaught on October 7. We see suicide amongst soldiers, police officers who was in battle on that horrible day, and soldiers who has been in battle for hundreds and hundreds of days, going through the most horrific things, losing their bodies with their friends being murdered right next to them. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of soldiers who are injured, who has lost an arm, a leg, or 2 legs, or 2 arms, injured defending the Jewish homeland. We have thousands of soldiers with PTSD today. We have terror victims with PTSD. We have families with PTSD. I have, from living here for so many years and just faithfully reporting and reporting and reporting and reporting. So it all comes together today for these 24 hours where we honor and we remember the memories of all the people who were murdered for no other reason than being Jewish, stabbed in the street, stabbed in the supermarket, shot, chopped down with machetes, rammed over in a vehicle. The list just goes on and on and on and on. So this is a nation that is deeply, deeply traumatized. Deeply traumatized. So when the Lord says, comfort, comfort my people, He's talking to you and me around the world to stand with Israel for such a time as this. As you can see behind me, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's breathtaking. And after been living in Jerusalem for so many years, which is a pressure cooker, there are no breaks, there are no slowing down. It's just constant like this and this and this and this and this. And with me putting my life on the line, reporting for so many years about terror attacks and trauma and a very, very dear friend of mine, Ali Fool, was murdered in a terror attack. I was tired and I was hurting, and constantly living with a broken heart from all of this is not healthy, and I have not been good at taking care of myself. So the Lord took me out of Jerusalem for a couple of months, and the peace that is up here that you don't have in Jerusalem is absolutely amazing. So that's why I am currently not in Jerusalem, but I am enjoying the solitude and the peace up here while the Lord is trying to mend my broken heart from all of this terrorism that I have dealt with. So today we honor and we bow our heads in respect from all the soldiers who has been killed defending the Jewish homelands. More than 1,000 soldiers has been killed defending Israel since October 7. It's absolutely devastating, and like I said, thousands of them are injured. So many young widows who are sitting alone now raising their children because their husband was killed defending Israel in war. We have orphans here in Israel. We have children who lost both a mom and a dad defending the Jewish homeland, or who was brutally murdered in a terror attack. So for such a time as this, we stand with Israel. We encourage the Jewish people. I will always stand with Israel, and I will always encourage the Jewish people. When the sun sets tonight, we are going to go into Memorial Day, and then we are going to go from mourning into dancing, from sadness into celebration. And it's a very, very difficult transitioning. But as of now, it's not even noon here in Israel, and the cemeteries are completely packed and full with bereaved families who are sitting at the gravesites at their husband, of their daughter, of their son, of their wife, of their children, brutally murdered in terror attacks or at war here in Israel. This is a day you cannot even begin to fathom. Like I told someone, I said I have trauma in every inch of my body, in my nerves, in my neck, in my muscles, everywhere, from being embedded into this nation, from standing united with Israel, from having a job that has been to report about all the terrorism and all the wars and the terror attack and the dead Jews. It has been an honor and a privilege, but it is hard work. It's beyond traumatizing. So I just pulled back a little bit, and I'm up here now in the Galilee. But this also means that I am, hopefully, God willingly, finding an apartment and going back to the Jerusalem for June. After been working alone for more than 12 years and sharing about all of these terror attacks, I went out at the end of last year and said that after speaking about all of these people, it's time to talk to them, to use my platform for their stories to be shared, that you don't hear in mainstream media. But little did I know that literally 2 weeks later, I was literally sent out of the apartment I was currently renting because of a legal matter, and didn't have a place to stay, and it has been quite chaotic actually. God knew that I was exhausted, and He took me into this beautiful apartment. But my heart is in Jerusalem. My name is Jerusalem Jane, and this is where I'm going back. And my heart's desire, and what I believe the Lord still has for me, is to start a podcast called Heartfelt Conversations from Israel, where I will give a platform and interview thousands of people telling their stories of being in battle for Israel, losing someone in a terror attack, speak to someone who survived a terror attack, speak to someone whose husband committed suicide because after serving in the army for so many days. There are so many stories that needs to be told, and that is what I believe is next for me moving forward. So when I post this video, because I wrote an article about this where I shared my heart's desire and my vision, and I will put that link in the comments, the description, when I post this video, because I believe still there is so much to do. There are so many stories to be told, and especially now since the latest war with Hezbollah, many soldiers has died with the fight with Hamas and with Hezbollah. People have been killed in missile attack coming from Iran and also from Hezbollah. So there's so many stories that needs to be told, that I would like to use my voice to be a platform for these people to have a place to share their stories. But before that happens, I need to find an apartment in Jerusalem. And can I just tell you, when the sun sets tonight, we are going into Independence Day. And then when the sun sets tomorrow, it's my birthday. On Thursday, April 23rd is my birthday. So my birthday wish is a fully furnished home in Jerusalem. And then to be able to make a podcast and have equipment and a co-worker and assistant, so we can make quality broadcast out of Israel and share the stories of all of these people that you don't hear about. That's my heart's desire, and I'm sorry that I haven't done it already, but I need to settle in an apartment. So I'm just boldly, because people were asking me, isn't your birthday coming up and how can we be a blessing? Yes, my birthday is this Thursday, the day after Independence Day. So I will share 3 donation platforms where you can send a blessing for me to get a new home, and also, God willingly, start a podcast. Will you share out this video? Will you share out the article where I'm talking about this podcast, so you can reach donors, partners, philanthropists, rich people, all the people that I don't know and that I don't know how to reach. Big or small, everything counts. I'm Jerusalem Jane. I have put my life on the line for Israel for 15 years, only living by donations, sharing about all the terror attacks again and again and again and again. Not being too good to take care of myself, because there's always something to do. There's always so much to do and report about. And right now, I'm just one person who needs a home. So today we stand in silence, we bow our heads in memory and respect for all the soldiers killed defending the Jewish homeland, and for all the precious people who have been brutally murdered in a terror attack, murdered for no other reason than being Jewish. Thank you for standing with me through all of these years where I have done my best to speak up for Israel and to defend the Jewish homeland. And right now here, as you can see, we are in the Galilee, beautiful Galilee. God just took me out for a season to try and mend a broken heart from all the hurt and pain and trauma. But what an honor and a privilege it has been to be Jerusalem Jane for so many years, being your news voice out of Israel. May God bless you, and united we stand with Israel. Bye.